Your headlines, your campus, your voice. Presented by RMU students for RMU students. Join us as RMU Live begins now.
It's official, the schedule for RMU Colonial men's basketball team is released. The Colonials go for a third straight year in March Madness.
It's the first year under the new head coach, Andy Toole, and he has some pretty high expectations for his team. Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for joining us. I'm Channing Frampton.
And I'm Jackie King. This season's schedule includes 13 home games at the Charles L. Sewell Center and 17 games on the road. The Colonials start off their season with a home expedition game against McGill on November 2nd. Other home games include matchups against St. Peter's, Duquesne, Youngstown State, and other teams in the Northeast Conference. The regular season wraps up with a home game against Mount St. Mary's on February 26th. New head coach Andy Toole, meanwhile, tells Colonial Sports Center that he has some strong convictions about the Colonials this year, about the regular season, and beyond.
Staff, we understand that that's exactly where we want to get. Our returning guys understand that's where we want to get. The newcomers are soon going to find out how hard it is to get there, and hopefully we can get everyone on the same page come January and February, and now all of a sudden have the opportunity to put ourselves in position where we can go back and, you know, play in an NEC championship game and then hopefully an NCAA tournament game.
And you can see the Colonials' entire schedule and roster by heading over to rmucolonials.com.
And speaking of sports, the campus's central place for fun and activity and fitness got a bit of a facelift earlier this year, as RMU Live's Heidi Hickel reports.
There have been a lot of renovations done around campus, and one of the smaller, not so noticed changes was done right here to the Jefferson Center. A few of the renovations include new classes such as yoga, abs, kettlebell, and Zumba. The old TV room is now open to stretch and is also where most classes will be held.
This summer we decided that we were going to change up the fitness center a little bit, add some more programming, make it more inclusive for all students. And one of the main things we did was we moved all the weights around. So if you've been in there, you're probably familiar. The machines are now closer to the entrance, so you don't have to walk by all the big muscle head guys when you first walk in there. The free weights will be moved over to the opposite side of the gym. We've also opened things up a bit more. The doors are always open now, just providing a whole atmosphere. And the major change, in my opinion, is the fitness room that we've added. A full array of fitness classes ranging from yoga, which Heidi instructs, to martial arts courses, and a wide variety of about 13 classes right now. As far as future changes go, we've got a student health and fitness committee actually that is meeting for the first time this week, so we're going to have a lot of input from those people, and it should bode well for future programs and future improvements down here. So, thank you.
What do you think of the new changes that have been done to the Jefferson Center, and have you been to any of the classes?
The new change to the center looks really good. The new weight room, they added a bit of new equipment, and it looks good. I haven't been to the classes yet, but I walked by a few and they look like they knew what they were doing and everyone was having a good time.
I haven't been to any of the classes yet, but I was pretty impressed whenever I walked in for the first day and saw that everything was kind of changed around and there was some new equipment and stuff, so it's definitely added to my workout routine.
The renovations are nice. They changed the weight room around a lot and reupholstered all of the weight benches. And I have been to the MMA strength and striking class with Paul Spradley. He does a good job with it. Yeah.
As you can tell, there are many new things to come and see and try out here at the Jefferson Center. I'm Heidi Hickel with RMU Live.
A Butler County father is facing charges for threatening to blow up his child's elementary school. Police say James Frank of West Sunbury called Dassa McKinney Elementary School and made the threat on Tuesday. KDKA reports the father was apparently upset about his child's grade. The school was put on lockdown, but Frank still showed up at the school and managed to tear down a two-way communication system in the front entrance of the school.
And a retired pastor from Eastern PA will stand trial on charges that he killed his wife and staged a car accident to cover it up. Arthur Burton Shermer is accused of homicide and tampering with evidence. The 2008 death of his wife Betty was first ruled an accident, but police reopened that case when a man killed himself after learning his wife and Shermer had an affair. Police have found evidence that Shermer's wife might have died from other causes. Police are also re-examining the 1999 death of Shermer's first wife. She was reported to have fallen down a flight of stairs. Shermer has denied harming either of his wives.
And efforts are underway in Harrisburg to help save the environment when it comes to drilling for natural gas. The Pennsylvania House will vote on whether or not to levy a tax on the amount of natural gas being produced by companies within the Commonwealth. Executives who are currently reaping the benefits of Marcellus shale drilling say the new tax will drive business away from PA. The bill's environmental benefits have drawn support from a large number of House Democrats.
And there's exciting news from the Pittsburgh Zoo, the birth of a new baby sea lion pup. The new pup was born Sunday night, making it the second sea lion ever to have been born at the Highland Park Zoo. Zookeepers and staff will be keeping a close eye on the pup, as the death rate for sea lions is 10 to 15% within the first month of life. Unfortunately, due to the mother's protective instincts, we cannot determine the sex of the sea lion at this time.
And coming up, terrorism problems spring up again in Paris.
Plus, we have a look at the 5-day forecast. All this and more coming up after the break. But first, let's take a look at this day in history.
Welcome. I understand you need a little help with your mortgage. Want to avoid foreclosure. Smart move. Candy? Well, you know, you're in luck. We're experts in this sort of thing. Mortgage, rigmarole, whatnot.
Really?
Absolutely. And we guarantee results, you know, for a small fee, of course. Such are the benefits of having a professional on your side. Why don't we get a contract? Who wants a contract?
Here you go, Pete.
Thanks, Betty.
Write a toner.
Sign it. Come on, sign it. Families around the country every single day, saving homes.
We will talk it over with.
If you're facing foreclosure, make sure you're talking to the right people. Speak with HUD-approved housing counselors free of charge at 888-995-HOPE.
And the midterm elections are a little more than a month away, and even though President Obama's name is not on the ballot, many of the analysts say that the president's job so far will be a determining factor for the voters in the midterm elections. About two years into his time into office, CNN's Dan Lothan takes a look into the promises that President Obama has kept and broken.
Small businesses got a helping hand from the White House Monday as President Obama signed a jobs bill and crossed another accomplishment off his to-do list.
It's going to speed relief to small businesses across this country right away.
The president's pockets are apparently pretty roomy because that's where he tells Rolling Stone magazine he keeps, quote, a checklist of the promises I made during the campaign. Then, grading himself, Mr. Obama proclaimed, halfway through my first term, and we've probably accomplished 70% of the things that we said we were going to do. With no access to his personal list, CNN focused on some key promises to determine whether they have been kept or broken. Immigration reform.
We have to solve it.
Candidate Obama was swept into office in part with the support of Latino groups who were banking on his immigration reform pledge. Nothing yet. In an intimate outdoor discussion with New Mexico voters, Mr. Obama blamed Republicans.
I can't get any of them to cooperate, and I don't have 60 Democrats in the Senate.
Other big promises still unfulfilled? Closing the Guantanamo Bay detention facility, pledging to repeal the don't ask, don't tell policy on gays in the military, and a promise to allow the import of prescription drugs, something seniors applauded. But there are also promises kept.
We're ready to play offense on universal health care.
President Obama told voters he would fight for health care reform. It lacks the public option he so strongly endorsed and is still controversial, but the bill passed. He promised to wind down the war in Iraq and remove combat troops. And finally, the president said he would make a speech to the Muslim world as part of an effort to polish the U.S. image abroad. He delivered those remarks in Cairo, Egypt.
Paris, France is having terrorism problems once again this week, forcing officials to raise security at places like the Eiffel Tower. Intelligence officials call the latest threat a credible Islamist-linked terror plot. The various threats forced the tower to be briefly evacuated Tuesday evening after officials received a bomb threat called from a local telephone booth. The threats and fears all go back to the controversial topic of banning the veil worn by Muslim women in the country.
And it's that time of the year. A German institution is celebrating a milestone this year. Beer has been flowing at Oktoberfest for over 2 centuries now. As CNN's Diana Magne shows us, there's still plenty of beer and good times on tap at the Brewfest.
These are costumes you wouldn't normally see at Munich's Oktoberfest. But if you'd been at the very first festival back in 1810 to celebrate the wedding of Bavaria's Crown Prince Ludwig, this is what you might have worn. And here's how you might have danced.
Woohoo! And now we need to see what the girls do.
There's a special Jubilee brew on sale to mark the Oktoberfest's 200th birthday.
I'm drunk now for only beer. Well done. How many have you had? One.
This woman says she likes the fact that it's strong.
It's umso higher.
Gets you higher, she tells me. Gabriele Weishäuper has been running the festival for 25 years. This year she's expecting around 6 million visitors, 10% more than normal. And Oktoberfest is already a goldmine for Munich.
We have an economic value of nearly 900 million euro for everybody in Munich and in Bavaria. It means more than 300 million euro are spent here in the festival ground. The rest in the city, by accommodation, by taxi, by shopping and so on.
And of course the beer. One of these will set you back some $12 and most people don't stop at one.
What's your average beer consumption a day at the Oktoberfest?
Oh, 10 of them.
How many have you had so far?
5.
Good work, good work.
We're getting there. We're halfway.
Good luck with the rest. Will you be standing on the table at the end?
Oh, yes! Yes!
But it's not all about the alcohol.
It's having all cultures together on one place and everybody celebrating without having trouble, so it's really nice.
Millions of international visitors raising a glass together, celebrating a very Bavarian tradition. Diana Magne, CNN, Munich.
Wow, very interesting.
Looks like a lot of fun.
Yeah. So as far as weather, what's going on?
Well, Casey Fogg is not here today, so I'm going to fill in for her, and hopefully you like what I have to hear. The weather forecast coming up for the rest of this week looks pretty decent if you ask me after the rainy days that we had yesterday. Temperatures are going to reach a high of 70 degrees today, nice and pleasant, sunny skies. Winds are out of the southeast at 6 miles per hour, and humidity is at a comfortable 70%. And if we take a look at the temperatures around the region, 68 degrees in Johnstown with 71 in Pittsburgh. Low 70s seem to be the name of the game in Morgantown, 72, 70 in Canton, Ohio, and Youngstown holding steady at 69 degrees at this hour. It's pretty comfortable weather to get out there and enjoy maybe your own kind of Oktoberfest coming up here shortly within the next couple of days. For tonight's forecast, we have a low of 57 degrees. It'll be cooler with that cold front that moved through earlier yesterday and into this evening. We'll see winds out of the east at 5 miles per hour. Humidity will stay around 78%, and for tomorrow's forecast, you can expect to see high of 66 degrees with humidity at 60%. Winds will be out of the north at 12 miles per hour, and those sunny skies will prevail throughout the rest of this week. Thursday, you'll see a chance of showers as a remnant of a tropical system moves up the eastern seaboard, but The sun will return for Friday and Saturday with 60 degrees as a high on Saturday. Make sure you take the umbrella if you head out to church with you on Sunday with a high 55, chance of showers. So, nice weekend, but...
Good to know.
Yeah.
I'll need my raincoat.
Exactly.
And upcoming right now, we've got, here's Jen Smith with a look at what's coming up in sports.
Thanks, guys. Coming up in sports, we have the Pirates entering the final week of their season, and the Pens keep rolling in the preseason. All this and more, but first, here's a look at the Athlete of the Week.
That does the sports on RMU Live Tuesdays at 5:30. He is 10 times better than these two chums that sit up here week after week and blah, 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 blah. I mean, Liam and Mario, come on, what is that? Put this kid that's on the news. He just started on Tuesday. He's 10 times better. He's flawless. He's got everything down pat. These two blowhards up here, I don't know what they're talking about. So check out RMU Live Tuesdays at 5:30. And check out the kid on the sports. Stick him on Colonial Sports Center. That's Thursdays at 9:30. And it's a win-win situation.
Takeout meals for just $12.99. Call them.
Sherry Pearson. You are the sole surviving heir of the King of Montanopolis, and you are now worth $45 million.
I'm rich! This can't be real.
Of course it's not real. Come on. Having money isn't about luck. Like that takeout meal. Cook at home instead, you can save thousands a year. Feed me.
Feed the pig.
In 1977, an 8-year-old boy picked up the game of golf from his father. The odds of that same boy then making it to the US and European Pro Golf Tours? 1 in 7 million. The odds of the Big Easy winning the US Open twice? 1 in 1.2 billion. The odds of him having a child diagnosed with autism? 1 in 150. Ernie Els encourages you to learn the signs at autismspeaks.org.
The NFL is investigating an incident that occurred after the Sunday night showdown between the Green Bay Packers and the Chicago Bears. It is said that Green Bay's veteran safety, Nick Collins, was seen yelling at a fan as he left the field. Collins is said to have thrown his mouthpiece into the seats as well. Collins told the media that the fan had spit on him and made a racial slur towards him. Green Bay's head coach, Mike McCarthy, says he backs Collins' action 100%. The league is still monitoring the situation. Preseason continues for the Penguins as they hosted the 2010 Stanley Cup champions Chicago Blackhawks last night. Crosby, Fleury, and Norpik did not play, but Malkin scored at the first goal of the game in the first period. Jeffrey, Johnson, and Letestu also scored goals for the Penguins as the Pens went on to win the game 4-1. The Penguins stand undefeated in the preseason with a 4-0 record, while the champs' record falls to 1-3. The Penguins will play the Blackhawks again on Friday at 8:30 p.m. in Chicago. The Pittsburgh Pirates season will come to an end on Sunday after a 4-game series against the Florida Marlins. This season caps the record for the Bucs as they go on to have their 18th consecutive losing season and their first 100-loss season since 1985. The only plus to having the worst record in the major leagues this year is that they will have the #1 draft pick in the 2011 MLB draft. ESPN reporter Jim Capley did say, however, he ranks PNC Park as the #1 baseball venue in the MLB.
All right, well, that's all we have for this edition of RMU Lives. Thanks for joining us. Come back in for Colonial Sports Center at 9:30, and for Jackie King and Jen, I'm Channing Frampton. Thanks for watching. Have a great afternoon.